Welcome to the Grumpy Old Gamer podcast. This is episode 9 of season 1, talking about the games and the event in the game world of 2025. I am your host, Ian, and I am joined, as always, by the ever delightful Al.
I am not delightful.
And the even more delightful Tim.
I concur with Al.
so you're going to have to cover the delight for everybody this time, mate. You know, we're just being a bunch of miserable, grumpy old gamers. You can be the delightful one.
Yeah, that'll go well.
All right, so let's talk about some of the games that came out in 2025. What's some games that you guys played that came out?
I don't play new games.
That's what I thought too, but I did play a couple new games this year. In February, there's a game that came out that I did play, and it's a game about digging a hole. Okay, and the name of it is a game about digging a hole, and it's a game about digging a hole.
Okay. What do you do?
You dig a hole.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
But it was actually an interesting game because they had it where like you were using like a vacuum cleaner to like you're in this backyard, right? And using this vacuum cleaner to suck up the dirt, and you can get upgrades and like you find things in the dirt that you can sell to like buy upgrades, and you buy jetpacks, you can get in and out of the hole really fast, and it's a whole thing.
Were you playing this on your phone?
No, I was playing this on my computer.
You was about to get sacked. You were going to get fired.
Probably.
But if it's a PC game, we'll allow it.
It was a PC game. Oh, you thought it was a mobile game? Oh no.
Yeah. Tell me what's the gameplay loop?
The gameplay loop on that is you jump in the hole, you dig the hole. While digging the hole, you find other things like rocks or metals or whatever. You run out of energy, you get out of the hole, you go to the garage, you recharge your energy, and you buy upgrades for, more energy, better jetpack, whatever. And then you jump back in the hole again. And it's very stupid, but I assure you, sir, it is very fun.
You're quite simple, aren't you, really?
I'm a man of simple taste.
All right. So that's your pick for 2025 is a game about digging a hole.
Yes, finally.
Which is a game about digging a hole.
Yes, and
fucking hell, man, that's just
yeah,
that's the episode. Thank you.
Yeah, done. Thank you. See you next time, guys.
Follow that up.
I've actually realized I've played quite a few that's come out this year. There was Doom Dark Ages, which was fantastic.
Was it? Okay, because it's on my wish list, and I never took the plunge. Because the reviews weren't overwhelming. Was it great?
I had a 30-day trial for Game Pass, so I didn't pay for it. I enjoyed the time that I had with it, because obviously now it's like Microsoft owns Bethesda, blah blah blah. I enjoyed it. Even though Mick Gordon's not in it, the soundtrack's still pretty banging. It was fun.
Do you still have guns and shit with it being in the Dark Ages, or is it all swords and shields?
No. It's just there was an excuse to make Doom Guy look like a knight. And he's still using miniguns and he's flying on mechanical dragons for some reason.
Do you think we have this kind of situation at the moment where we kind of have an industry which is struggling to put out anything original and interesting, so they just embellish existing IPs by adding mechanical dragons and dressing up Doom Guy in a suit of armor?
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of, for some reason, there was a Far Cry 3 like little add-on, which was almost like a Tron version because they wanted to do it, and they just released it for like £10, and it was really fun. That was ages ago, obviously, but it reminded me more of that. Except then, that was kind of unique. That was like 15 years ago, Yeah, I think it really was just like, hey, Doom Guy's cool now, and we got this silly plot, which no one really was asking for in Doom to begin with, but like I said, I just got 30-day Game Pass. I enjoyed the time that I had with it. I'm not going to get another one, you know?
Because Doom doesn't really have a plot, does it? It's just an excuse to go and blast shit.
It does now, mate. It really does now.
Okay. What's the plot?
I don't really want to get into spoilers, but it's silly.
And that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because games and I play games for the story, and I think we discussed this last episode. It's not easy mode; it's story mode, right?
Yeah.
And I play games to enjoy the story.
Mhm.
But games don't need a story. Doom didn't need a story. Quake didn't need a story. These are icons of first-person shooters. They didn't need this narrative to explain why you were killing shit. So why have they now just sort of suddenly decided, oh, we need a story for this?
Well, that's probably why, if we're going to go down the route with Quake, even though I thoroughly enjoyed it, Quake 4 was panned for that. We were like, oh, we just want to shoot crap. It's Quake, for Christ's sake. I mean, before that, was it Quake 3 Arena? It was like, hey, here's a multiplayer game. Enjoy, no narrative, do whatever the hell you want. Done. And then obviously the first two.
I think there's some games really do require story and some of them don't. Like if you're just running around blasting demons or zombies or whatever, then you don't really need a story. But there's plenty of games like the old Telltale Walking Dead games, episodic, storytelling games where like the story's really important. It really draws and sucks you in. Without the story, those games have nothing.
I completely agree, but there's a big narrative there. I'm just, I'm agreeing with Al here. Doom and Quake don't really need it. You just want to shoot someone in the face.
No, they do
Yeah,
not.
yeah, you're talking about something completely different there. I mean, that's like comparing apples and oranges. Of course, a Walking Dead game like the Telltale, they are narrative games, so of course they have a narrative. Um, it needs a narrative, but if you think Left 4 Dead is a zombie shooter, which it could quite easily have taken place in the Walking Dead universe, and it doesn't really have a story. It doesn't need a story. So, but if you're talking about FPS games, which is what we were talking about, they don't specifically need a narrative in order to be successful. Yet, when they've made Doom: The Dark Age, they said, "Hey, let's add a story to this," and I'm just kind of questioning the logic behind that.
Well, you just made the statement that games don't need a story, and so I was like, some games do. But yeah, for the newer games, they're just trying to add value to it. They're trying to extend it. They're trying to get the gameplay campaign going a little bit longer and get a couple more hours out of it.
Let's just quickly go back. I think that was because we were focusing on FPSs. I thought maybe we were focusing on that. I'm thinking ones that didn't need storylines. Far Cry the original. Far Cry the original. I was just happy shooting people on like the beach, and then they added storyline to it, and I lost interest. Completely lost interest. All right, yeah.
Well, even Half-Life 2, which and I know we're guys, we're going into like
Yeah.
typical grumpy old gamer subject matter here by talking about old games, which are great. So I'll make this quick. But even Half-Life 2, where it's described as a incredible story-driven game. You follow Gordon Freeman through this incredible adventure. But you didn't need the story to play the game and to enjoy the game. You didn't need to know why Gordon was blowing people up and killing people or whatever. It wasn't necessary to understand about City 17 and the 7-hour war for you to be able to thoroughly enjoy Half-Life 2. So it was unnecessary. And the issue that I have where what Ian said about adding value to it, stories cost a lot of money. To have an effective narrative, it costs an awful lot of money. So Doom: The Dark Age is saying, well, we're investing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into this story. Are they going to get enough value from additional purchases by, is the return, I guess, is the return on the investment enough to justify hiring story writers?
Just to finish this segment off, because I've got a few other games that I have played this year, but probably everybody played it. Maybe just got a month of Game Pass. They're not buying copies. Maybe like Christmas presents or stuff like that. Everything is on Game Pass now. That's how I played it for free. Anyway, I'm going to put these next two into the same kind of genre, essentially. So, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I completely forgot about it, and not in a bad way, but the Oblivion remaster. They were really good. I enjoyed both of them. Kingdom Come, obviously, they were slow. It was like the first one. It's a slow build up of a game, and I genuinely think the Oblivion remaster was worth it. It was really, really well done.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of remasters that came out this year. There was the Oblivion remaster. There was the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster that I was just playing the other day. There was the Last of Us.
Metal
There's
Gear
always
Solid,
Final Fantasy. Yeah, Metal Gear
yeah.
Solid. There's always a Final Fantasy getting remastered. Just it
Silent
seems
Hill.
like it just seems like the
Mhm.
biggest hits of or the biggest titles of the year were all direct sequels, going back to Al's original point. I mean, you
Dawn
look at
of War. They did the
yeah.
Dawn of War Definitive Edition as well, which is absolutely incredible. But what I don't want to do is steal the thunder of next episode, of episode 10, where we're going to cover lots of this. So let's try and focus on what happened in 2025.
Let's just say they were two very solid games. They, as I said, lump them together because they're very similar but very different in the same way. My last one, which I rinsed the hell out of and kind of got bored because I rinsed the hell out of it, was Battlefield 6. I thought it was a great game. I thought it was really refreshing to have like a really good FPS that wasn't Call of Duty, to put it bluntly. And I'm not saying Call of Duty is a great FPS. We're still for that to come out. But Battlefield 6 was really refreshing. The devs actually listen to the community. They're still updating everything. When someone says something's bad, they'll like test it and everything. It was eye-opening to see what if you make a game for PC and actually just the next gen consoles, what they can actually do with it. And super immersive, really good fun with mates, and I had a whale of a time.
Are you going to buy it?
Yes, I am. I'm going to treat myself at Christmas. Yeah, because I did the same thing with the EA Play.
Yeah, I'm aware, and that's why I'm asking, because you're speaking very highly of the game, but it's like, well, if it's that good, then surely you'd buy it and you'd be playing it all the time. But you've just said you kind of rinsed the hell out of it and you got bored of it. So does it have a very short gameplay cycle? I mean, have you done everything that you need to do in Battlefield 6 to be able to say I've experienced Battlefield 6?
No, a lot of my friends who are playing it are literally on holiday at the moment. One of my mates in Canada, quite a few are going up north for some reason. Having like a
Idiots.
meet up. Yeah, I know, right? So I just thought I'd end the EA Play for the month and just treat myself around Christmas. After the Christmas shopping's done, everybody will have time to play it again, and we can just squad up and have a whale of a time.
All right. So that was a couple games from Tim, and I had my game. So Al.
Hold on, I haven't finished.
Oh,
Oh.
oh God, here we go.
Ian's always trying to rush me, right? And
Oh.
this is episode 9, and I'm getting sick of being pushed forward when I don't need to push forward. Ask my ladies. I like to take my time. Right, that's just the way it is. Okay.
Subtle.
So, Timothy, RedSec.
Mm-hmm.
RedSec, the free-to-play Battlefield 6 Battle Royale. Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it yet, mate. No.
Why not?
I'm fed up with Battle Royales. Everybody's doing Battle Royale right, left, and centre. I heard it's really good. It just hasn't interested me. I mean, what have you got? You've got Call of Duty. You've got the silly one that Epic likes, or the kids like as well. We'll ignore that one. You've got the Call of Duty one. How many Battle Royales are there now?
All of them. Loads. There's loads. Of course,
I'm fed up with the genre. I'm fed up with that genre.
Yep.
There's loads. I mean, RedSec was, to me, I think it's great. They have a Battlefield 6, which you pay to play, and then they have a free-to-play version. I thought, well, that's great, but it has been absolutely slaughtered review-wise on Steam. So, I mean, I don't know what the reception is like on consoles, but the Steam reviews have hammered RedSec.
What I've seen of it, it absolutely looks fantastic. A lot of the people who are hammering it are probably used to the Call of Duty one. It's a very different game. In fact, one of the biggest complaints that it got review bombed from the Call of Duty people. That Warzone, that's what it is. Coming over from Warzone to RedSec, and they were complaining about the tanks being OP. And they were like hiding in buildings behind a corner, like no one will go find me, and a tank just plows through the building, destroys them, runs them over. So, oh, that's OP, that's OP. And a lot of it is because of that. it's ridiculous.
It's because it's a tank.
Yeah.
So, by the time this episode goes out, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will have released as well. Will either of you guys be playing that?
No.
Probably not.
Why not?
Fatigue. Call of Duty fatigue. And I'm not really a Call of Duty person. I picked up Modern Warfare 2 because of the big pandemic, and that's what people were playing. And I got Black Ops 6 as a Christmas present.
Okay.
I'm not interested in it. It looks ridiculous already.
I don't know enough about it, but I mean, if somebody gave it to me, I would probably play it, but I'm not going to go and spend my money.
Exactly. Neither would I.
Okay. Sorry, Ian, you can continue now. I've finished with my section.
Okay. Goddamn right. All right, so that's a game from me and a couple games from Tim. Al, what is some of the memorable games or the memorable game of the year for you?
You're coming to me again. Oh my God. I've just been talking nonstop for the last 50 minutes. I'm a strategy gamer. There's 3 games which I think require mentioning. Tempest Rising. Tempest Rising came out at the start of the year, and it is a absolutely cracking game. And I think the way I describe it was this: if Command and Conquer from 1995 and 1996 was made in 2025, it would be Tempest Rising. It is an excellent love letter to those games that Westwood made in the mid-90s, and I thoroughly recommend it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do what I like to call a shit sandwich, right? So you start with something great. So there's your Tempest Rising. There's your bottom of your sandwich. You start with something great, and you finish with something great, and that's going to be Dawn of War Definitive Edition. And you put shit in the middle, and that's Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow, have you played it? Have you heard of it?
Enlighten me.
Did you ever play World in Conflict?
Oh, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Warno or Red Dragon, anything like that?
Yeah. Because I was invited to the closed beta for a bit before they even did the. I don't think they did an open beta. They did like an invite only thing. And I played it for about 10, 15 minutes. And I don't remember much of it, to put it bluntly.
It's weird because I kind of enjoyed it. I actually described it to a mate. I said it's like a military sim, and I got shot down. He says, "No, it's not. It's a real-time tactics game." I says, "Yeah, I get that, but it's real-world units in a real-world setting, using real-world tactics. So it's as realistic as you can expect an arcade strategy game to get. You know, it's NATO versus Russia." It's the Third World War. You can find nukes at each other, all that kind of shit, you know? So it's very, very real world. But, man, the multiplayer side has just been it's been really difficult for the developer to get right. Loads of accusations of cheating, loads of balance issues, just an absolute clusterfuck from start to finish. And it's designed there is a campaign, but it's designed as a competitive game. And it's like, if you are releasing a competitive game, get the competitive elements of it right. You know, and they haven't, and they're still working on it now. They're still trying to fix it now. And it's been I don't know, 6 months maybe around that it's been released, and they're still trying to get it to work. I mean, they've recently introduced easy anti-cheat, which is like industry standard anti-cheat. It's a it's used on loads of different games, and they realized that their homegrown solution just wasn't cutting the mustard. People were just taking the piss, and it wasn't working. So they've introduced easy anti-cheat in order to try and fix the problems which they had with cheaters. And then, of course, when you have cheaters and they're saying, well, all the cheating players are Chinese, then it all becomes a bit racist, and therefore all Chinese players are cheaters. And the community got very, very toxic as a result of all this. And I always like to think of video games, strategy games, video games, FPS, games where you're killing things. I like to think of them as little slices of joy in an otherwise dull and mundane life. I get to, for half an hour or an hour or 7,000 hours, depending upon the game, to go and make believe that I'm somebody else and I'm fucking awesome. It's power fantasy. You get to play out your fantasies as the big guy with the big gun, or the big guy with the big sword, or the big guy with the big army, or whatever it might be, and go and have those fantasies of being powerful. Video gaming should be joyful, and it's quite ironic that we call ourselves the grumpy old gamers, but I think we all get a lot of joy out of playing games, even ones about digging fucking holes. But I digress. I digress. This is not joyful, and the community is not joyful, and it's a negative cesspit of counter allegations of cheating and racism, and that's just terrible. So that's Broken Arrow. But then the shit sandwich continues with Dawn of War Definitive Edition. Oh my god, it is just. I love it. I love it. I played it and I was like, it made me feel like it was 2004 again. And I had knees that still worked and a back that didn't hurt all the time. It just reminded me of my youth. Before I had kids and responsibilities, and playing Dawn of War 4 Definitive Edition just reminded me of what it was like to play the original way back then. And it was joyful. I was a space marine shooting orcs, blowing things up, and it was a joyful experience.
That's how it should be. That's how remaster or reimagining or whatever the R word is should be. If it brings back memories like that, or it introduces people to that feeling which maybe they've never had before, that's how it should be done. Not some lazy, we've upscaled it to 1080 or 4K. Redo it, And yeah, I've heard you rant about it a lot. That's not a bad thing, mate.
All right, so we all picked a couple games there that we talked about, but there's also a lot of events that happened in 2025. Tim, what's an event that happened this year that you remember that was impactful?
It's quite a recent one, mate. EA basically being sold to 55 billion?
15 billion?
I thought it was more than that. It was a lot of money either way. To a big company in Saudi Arabia. That really stuck out, and I'm not sure what that. I'm not sure what that says about EA, but what was it going to say in the future type thing? That really stuck out. It's like a bit of a. Is it going to affect everything? But the only EA game I like at the moment is Battlefield, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, it remains to be seen what the impact of that is. All right, so there was a lot of games that came out this year. Al, this question is directed to you first before everybody else, so you don't throw another fit. What was a game that came out this year specifically that you avoided, and why?
All of them.
Would you care to elaborate?
It's not true that I haven't avoided all games. I think that I've been spoiled, and I've been spoiled for a couple of reasons. I've been spoiled by the fact that the games I play tend to be remasters or re-releases or older games, so they're cheap. When I see a game which is £60, which is industry standard, I'm like, well, it's too expensive for me. So I don't. So I tend to wait until things go on sale. So a lot of the new releases I haven't played. I mean, I played Tempest Rising, I played Broken Arrow, and I played Dawn of War Definitive Edition. So I don't like paying full price for games. And I've always and Battlefield 6 really interested me, and I watched Tim playing it, and I was like, I might enjoy this, but I'm ultra competitive and really, really shit at games. So a multiplayer focused game is going to be something which I don't really want to try. But one which I really and this is probably be quite an interesting debate. I love the Assassin's Creed series. And I'm not going to do the racist thing of saying I'm not racist, but because this isn't the case. This isn't the case. But Assassin's Creed Shadows had a black samurai who I believe, or I'm led to believe, it was a historical figure. Okay, was a real person. Yeah, but Ubisoft has never made a game with a male East Asian protagonist. Never. And they're making a game in feudal Japan where they could have had an East Asian male protagonist, a perfect fit, right? Why did they need to use a black samurai? Because by doing so, they opened up the floodgates for criticism around going woke. What were they trying to prove by doing that? And the whole scandal around that was like, I couldn't bring myself to give. I mean, fuck Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, fuck Ubisoft.
I couldn't bring myself to give Ubisoft any money to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I love the Assassin's Creed games because of this weird decision. And they can say, "Oh, it's for it's for inclusivity and all this kind of stuff." Fair enough, but you've never had an East Asian male protagonist, and now you could have done, and you're still saying it's about inclusivity.
Well, I can't speak for the developers, but I know that I knew of the black samurai historical figure. I can't remember how you pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try. But I knew of him a couple of years before, and I gotta say that when I heard his story the first time, the first thought was this would make an awesome video game one day. So I don't know if that was part of it.
I've never heard of a black samurai, but I have heard of a black sword bearer for a samurai. If there was a black samurai, and like, the Japanese were very intricate about recording all their samurais. Apparently, there's none on record, unless it was literally redacted. But there was a sword bearer for a samurai, and I think they expanded on that and made up history, which, I mean, it really offended the Japanese. It really offended the Japanese because they had the perfect game to have. Everybody wanted feudal Japan as an Assassin's Creed game. Just have a cool samurai. Who cares? In Japan.
Yes, a Japanese samurai in a Japanese set game. I just don't understand why they felt the need to pull this one particular character out because there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of notable samurai that they could have used instead in order to fulfill that gap that they've never done, which is the East Asian male protagonist. They could have done that in this game, and it would have been there would have been inclusivity in there because they're using an Asian character, and it would have fit the game
Perfectly.
setting far better than whatever clusterfuck of whatever it was that they decided to pull out of their asses to make this. It was just it just seemed like a weird decision, and whether it was for DEI reasons or not, by doing it, they give people the ammunition to criticize them for being overly woke. I like to consider myself as being quite woke. It's about I'm aware of social issues. I mean, I have black family members. I have gay friends. It doesn't bother me. I'm quite happy to celebrate every type of human, whether you're black, brown, yellow, red, white, blue, whatever. I don't care. Right? But by doing what they've done, they've painted a target on their backs.
There's no other way of putting it. They did. I mean, I remember when the trailer first came out, no one could focus on the gameplay or anything like that. It looked beautiful. They painted a big target right there. Why?
So Tim, what's your pick for the game that you did not play this year?
There's two that really stick out. Avowed just looked absolutely awful, and it was really trumped upon because I remember Xbox was really hyping it up, and I was looking at it, and it was like, this looks like a really bad Oblivion. Like, it looks like a really bad Oblivion. And then Oblivion Remastered came out, and I was like, who remembers Avowed? Like, where did that go? Like, who cares? And the other one, Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4. Randy Pitch, whatever his name is. My God, this game's worth about $150 if I was to do what I want to do. And then it just turned out to be a broken mess. I always think when developers say this is worth so much more than it actually is, it's like, well, that's going to be a mess. Turned out it was.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that for sure. And I think that my pick of the game that I avoided is probably going to get me crucified in the comments, but Elden Ring, Night Rain. Um, I tend to avoid the Elden Ring games. They're just not my style, man. They're too hard for me, and I like to play on story mode like Al. You know, I can't play the hard games like Tim.
I don't play hard games. I just like shooting people.
Yeah, there's been a couple of games which have been released in 2025, which should have been great and ended up being absolute dog turds. Have you heard of or played Mind's Eye?
No, I haven't. What is that?
No, and this is like a really surprising thing because you should have done, because Leslie Benzies was the president of Rockstar North. He made Grand Theft Auto 5, he made GTA Online, he made Red Dead Redemption. He then left Rockstar and he made Mind's Eye, which released this year. A game from the creator of Grand Theft Auto, the most successful video game of all time, until Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. The guy who made that game released a game called Mind's Eye in 2025, and you've never heard of it. Isn't that strange?
A little
That is
bit.
strange. I would have thought that'd be a massive selling point.
Yeah, and it would be. I mean, it launched in June of this year, went immediately mostly negative with its reviews. It had the lowest Metacritic score amongst all games that were released that week.
And I never even heard about it.
And you've never even heard of it. And
What was it like?
does it? I never played it, Tim.
What do you do? You go around shooting
I never
puppies? Like,
played
what
it.
is this game about?
But it was a an open world game, very similar in the way that it played. It had the same sort of driving mechanics as Grand Theft Auto. You built this world. It should have been should have been the perfect resting point whilst people waited for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out.
Shall I go with mine now, mate?
Sure.
Because it goes back to my previous answer. Avowed. It got completely shadowed because it was Obsidian. That's what really confused me. I mean, they made the best Fallout in my eyes. It was them who did New Vegas, I think. Incredible game. And personally, it looked really lazy. But then Oblivion got announced straight away. I was like, what's the point in playing that? And they've been hyping this game for like years, apparently. That's what I've heard online, like through like YouTube and stuff like that. And I know some of the people that I've watched got like pre-release things, and they couldn't show certain things. And it's like, why can't you show this? Like, what are they hiding? And as soon as like a YouTuber gets like an early access, but they can't show a certain thing, it's like, oh, that's a bit dodgy.
Red flag.
Yeah, and I wasn't overly surprised, but I think Xbox was really, really peed off of it because they're really hyping it up, and then it just, boop. As I said, who remembers Avowed? Honestly.
I think I remember Avowed more than Mind's Eye, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely. Well, at least a split second.
Yeah. Well, my game's probably gonna have to be the Monster Hunter Wilds, the PC version. I didn't play this one, but I just remember hearing about it. Like the PC port is just really bad. Like it had performance issue, crashes, like you name it. And it just got hit with all sorts of really terrible reviews, and apparently just really tanked.
The critics really loved Monster Hunter Wilds. And I think it's got like 88 or something like that on Metacritic, which is a really good score. So critically, it was well received, but the fans hated it. And it's strange, isn't it? Because we've just been saying how remasters and remakes and sequels of existing franchises seems to be the industry staple now, because that's what people they know. It's almost like a guaranteed success, because you don't have to explain this. You don't have to explain the story. You don't have to write a whole new IP. It's the same shit, just repackaged.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, and for some reason this one just didn't resonate with people, and I don't understand why. But there's one thing that we haven't covered, which I think is really important, which happened this year. The Switch 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You forgot about that? It came out this year.
Well, I didn't.
A new console came out this year, and we completely forgot about it.
And the Nintendo one, no less.
That's the thing that got me. I just assumed it was just another. Well, obviously it is another Switch, but I don't know. That completely went under the radar. I was like, oh, there's a Switch.
I just remember that the games are expensive, and people were freaking out about that for a while.
Oh, that's Nintendo, mate. That's not going to change, unfortunately. But yeah, no, that just went. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I guess that did come out this year.
All right, that is going to have to do it here for us this week here on the Grumpy Old Gamer podcast. If you like what you hear, go to gog.fm. You can find all sorts of stuff about us online there. You can listen to this podcast wherever you can listen to podcasts. Subscribe wherever you can subscribe. Like wherever you can like. And we will see you at the next one.